Everybody knew it was false. Amazingly, there's a media group that calls the media. And the next day, they did the most beautiful story about what a lie it was from NBC. She's back there, little Katy. She's back there. What a lie it was. No, what a lie. Katy Tur. What a lie it was from NBC to have written that.
Does that not give you pause?
No, it gives me no pause. If they have,
have
they have
a
them. We
foreign
might as well fight.
government
Hey,
able
you know
to
what gives me
handle
more
this
pause? That a person in our government, crooked Hillary Clinton.
What if
Here's
it was
what gives me
someone
more.
else
Be
and not
quiet. I know
Hillary
you want to,
Clinton?
save her. There's something happening. They're not reporting it, Katy. You're not reporting it, Katy. But there's something happening, Katy. There's something happening, Katy.
Oh, yeah, there is, and it's unbelievable. Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Katy Tur. Her new book, out today, is Unbelievable, My Front Row Seat to the Craziest Campaign in American History. And Katy joins us now. Great to have you on board. I want to go backwards at first and then open it up to the table. How does it look now compared to how unbelievable it was during the campaign, which we will get to? But what do you see a difference in the past?
No, it's exactly the same.
Okay.
It's as unbelievable today as it was back then.
You don't see in the past 2 weeks a different Trump?
Maybe if that continues, but I think there's been a lot of disasters that have captivated the attention of the American public, and he hasn't had a lot of room to revert back to how he normally behaves. I just don't think that there is enough evidence to say that this is Donald Trump pivoting to another version of himself. I'm not saying that that cannot happen. I'm just saying whenever we've spoken about these changes in tone that he might have had, he's always gone back.
Yeah.
So, Kate, I remember on the campaign trail, he was always, calling on you and singling you out, Katy Tur, from the mic. It's a very strange and rare thing for a candidate to do that. In the course of writing the book, have you figured out why he would come after you, specifically you?
I have not personally figured out why it was me, but I will say that it started from the very beginning. It could have had something to do with me being the first network correspondent that was assigned to cover him. I was the very first one there taking the campaign seriously at a time when there were headlines that said, Donald Trump is running for president. It's going to be so hilarious. And I show up at this backyard pool, this event around a backyard pool in New Hampshire, and I'm just standing there taking notes about what he's saying. And he calls me out. He says, Katy Tur, you're not paying attention. I had never met this man in my life. I knew him from the New York real estate scene, from the social scene, from the tabloids, from The Apprentice, like everybody else in America did. I did not know him as a serious politician. I certainly did not know that he knew me.
Mm-hmm. So if it were Nick Confessori who is in your place, like if it was a guy who was the first reporter to cover Donald Trump doing everything you did, do you think it would have happened? This singling out?
I think that's a really good question. I will say this.
I don't think so.
He did single out other male journalists along the trail. He called Tom Yamas of ABC a sleaze. But he did do it to me very consistently. I think it was this push and pull. I think he expected somebody to give him more favorable coverage. I was a political neophyte. I was young. Maybe he thought he could change my coverage, make it more favorable to him. Maybe he thought he could intimidate me. The reality is, if he knew anything about me, anything at all, one quick Google search, you'd find out that it's not easy to intimidate me. I don't get intimidated.
So, Katy, I'm a little bit upset with you this morning because my Kindle download of the book came right around midnight last night and kept me up way too late.
I'm sorry.
Joe. It's a real page turner.
Good.
Starting with the first line, which I
kind of feel the same way right now.
I'm about to throw up.
I feel the same way right now with this launch.
Can you just talk about?
It's not, so if you read one line of the book and you choose to ding me over that line, it will just be that you've read that one line. It's not a political commentary. This is not me saying I'm about to throw up because somebody from a particular party won and I am not of that party. It was a commentary on what had happened in that last year and a half. I covered him for 500 days. 500 after days of being on the road and having to not only try and understand what he was saying some of the time, but also hold up facts. He did not tell the truth on the campaign. His supporters were extraordinarily angry. It was a surreal and unbelievable experience, and it seemed at that point that it was never going to end. A lot of us felt like we didn't have solid ground to stand on. We didn't know how to cover this any longer. We didn't know what mattered about what we said. And in that moment, it felt very acute.
When did you get the sense that Trump could actually win the election? And did you ever call that?
I got the sense. I will say the first interview I did with him, he came after me and he said, you could never be president. And the first thing I thought in my head was, well, neither can you. Luckily, I didn't say that at the time. But I thought that, and I think this was part of the reason this worked so well, was because I wasn't a Washington person. I wasn't a political person. I was able to see his support and the devotion that he found himself getting for what it was very early on, without any predispositions or preconceived notions. But when he went after John McCain, when he went after an American war hero, you can say that the Conservative Party wasn't so happy with John McCain here and there, but this was an American war hero who was a POW. When he went after him and his poll numbers went up, nothing else is sacred. He can go after anything.
Mark Halpern, last question.
Katy Tur, congratulations. Who should buy this book? Who would be interested in your book?
Anybody who is waking up and wondering, is this real life? Anybody who's trying to figure out what happened
How we got here.
the past year and a half, how we got here, why his support was so devoted. And then also for those who just are curious about what it was like day in and day out. I mean, it's darkly comic at times, and I think most people would find it enjoyable, even the president.
NBC's Katy Tur, thank you very much. The new book is out today. It's unbelievable. My front row seat to the craziest campaign in American history. And you can read an excerpt on our website, msnbc.com/Morning Joe. Katy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mika.
Congratulations.
Fun.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations. Up next, the very latest on the aftermath of Hurricane Irma. Some 200,000 people are in shelters in Florida, and it may take weeks to restore power around the state. Plus, we'll check in with Kerry Sanders, who, while covering his 60th hurricane, found time to help return not one, but two dolphins to the water. He joins us next.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.